The lecture hall of the Galactic Academy buzzed with anticipation as Professor Zelthor, a distinguished Velcran scholar, adjusted his translation implant. His 6 eyes scanned the diverse crowd of young beings from across the civilized galaxy, all eager to learn about the most dangerous creatures in known space. Today, Zelthor began, his mandibles clicking with excitement, we discuss the apex predators of Sol 3, colloquially known as Earth. A Class 12 Deathworld that should have never produced sapient life. In the back row, Marcus Webb sat quietly, his worn backpack resting against his chair. The human exchange student had been at the academy for 3 months now, and he'd learned that sometimes it was better to just listen. Let us begin with their physiology, the professor continued, pulling up a holographic image of a human skeleton. Several students gasped. Notice the bone density. Designed to withstand their brutal 1G gravity well. These creatures evolved in an environment that would crush most of us. A Piltheran student raised a delicate tentacle. Professor, surely they must be slow and clumsy with such heavy construction. Zelthor's mandibles curled in what might have been a smile. On the contrary. Humans are persistence hunters. They can run for hours without stopping. Days, even. On their world, they would simply follow prey until the animal collapsed from exhaustion. They are relentless. Marcus shifted in his seat, remembering his morning jog through the station's 0.4G recreation deck. He'd had to slow down significantly to avoid overtaking the Velcran joggers. But their true horror, the professor's voice dropped dramatically, lies in their psychology. Humans form something called pack bonds. They will die for creatures not even of their own species. They kept carnivorous predators in their homes and called them pets. They domesticated wolves, for the love of the Celestials. Wolves. The class erupted in horrified chittering and gasps. Marcus couldn't help but smile, thinking of his golden retriever back home, probably sleeping on his bed right now. Furthermore, Zelthor continued, warming to his subject, humans produce a chemical called adrenaline. In moments of extreme stress, they become capable of extraordinary feats. There are documented cases of humans lifting vehicles to save trapped offspring. They can ignore fatal wounds to complete objectives. Their bodies literally override safety limiters. A brave Quellan student spoke up, their crystalline form shimmering nervously. But Professor, weren't they deemed safe for integration into the galactic community? I heard a human even attends this very academy. The professor's expression softened slightly. Yes, well, that is because humans possess another unique trait, restraint. Despite being born killers, they developed complex moral frameworks. They choose not to harm. It's quite remarkable, actually. Marcus felt dozens of eyes suddenly searching the room. He slumped lower in his seat. Their planet tried to kill them at every turn, Zelthor went on. Hurricanes. Earthquakes. Floods. Volcanic eruptions. Predators with claws and venom. Microscopic organisms that could kill in days. And yet, humans thrived. Do you know what they did? Silence. They made sports out of their survival techniques. They climb mountains for fun. They jump from aircraft with fabric parachutes as recreation. They invented something called horror movies where they pay to be frightened. They season their food with plants that cause pain because they enjoy the sensation. A Piltheran student looked like they might faint. But here's what fascinates me most, the professor said, his voice filled with genuine admiration now. Humans are terrified of the most harmless things. They fear spiders smaller than your smallest digit. They're afraid of the dark, of heights, of deep water. They know they should be apex predators, and it scares them. So they built civilizations, created art, wrote poetry, and reached for the stars not because they were fearless, but because they were afraid and did it anyway. Marcus felt his throat tighten unexpectedly. They called themselves weak, Zelthor continued. They looked at the universe and thought they were fragile. Can you imagine? A species that survived ice ages, plague, and countless wars, thinking they're not strong enough. The professor paused, scanning the room. That human exchange student I mentioned. Jake Morrison from the North American sector. He's in this very class. Every head turned. Marcus slowly raised his hand, feeling his face flush red, another uniquely human response. Ah, Mr. Morrison. Zelthor's mandibles clicked cheerfully. Perhaps you could share your perspective. Marcus stood awkwardly, every instinct telling him to run or fight, his ancient hindbrain not understanding that a classroom wasn't a threat. He took a breath, forcing calm. Professor, I think you got most of it right, Marcus said carefully. But you missed one thing. Humans aren't special because we're strong or resilient or whatever. We're special because we decided that everyone else deserves to be strong and resilient too. We didn't come to the stars to conquer. We came to the stars to make friends. He gestured around the room. Half of you could probably outsmart me. Some of you can survive in environments that would kill me in seconds. A few of you will live 10 times longer than I will. And that's amazing. Earth taught us to survive, yeah. But we taught ourselves to help others survive too. The room was silent for a long moment. Then Professor Zelthor began what Marcus had learned was Velcrin applause, a rapid clicking of mandibles. Slowly, the rest of the class joined in with their own species versions. Well said, Mr. Morrison, the professor nodded. Perhaps that is the most frightening thing about humans after all. Not that they're monsters. But that they're monsters who chose to be kind. Marcus sat down, his heart still pounding, adrenaline slowly fading. Around him, his classmates looked at him with new understanding, something between respect and wonder. And for the first time since leaving Earth, Marcus felt like he was exactly where he needed to be. Later, as students filed out, several approached Marcus, curiosity overcoming fear. A small Piltheran named Tilres spoke first, voice trembling but determined. Would you tell us about these dogs you kept as pets? Marcus grinned. Sure. Let me show you pictures. But warning, they're adorable. The galaxy, Marcus thought, was going to be just fine.